Baba's Srimad to have the attitude that Maya is my cooperative, friend, not my enemy. And in the Murli, Baba uses the word attitude in a different place also. And it is important to understand the attitude. And you see, there are 4 words. There is consciousness, there is attitude, there is vision, and then there is action. So Baba always tells us to work on our consciousness, the consciousness that I am a soul. Being soul conscious is what Baba is every day asking us to practice. And when the consciousness shifts, the attitude shifts. And you see that, let me tell you one incident. So, there is this one brother, and he was working, and he was in a, he was posted in a place, and in that location he was posted for 30 years of his service. And when he was into the job, he felt that, okay, this is where I stay and this is where I have to do my work. But as soon as he started getting close to retirement, his his hometown started calling him, and he felt like I should buy a house in the place I was born in, and I should go back to my family and friends. And so you see that as soon as, for 30 years you think of yourself as an employee, and then what happens is your job is what determines your attitude, your vision, everything, your choices. And then as soon as you stop thinking of yourself as an employee, as soon as you reach retirement and you start thinking of yourself as a person who hails from a certain town or a certain community, then you start feeling like you have to go back to that place and just be there. So you see, everything depends on consciousness. And these are, so the example I gave you, in that example, both are body conscious states. So whether I am an employee or I am a person who belongs to this town or this community, both of them are body conscious states of consciousness. But even in body consciousness, the state of consciousness determines your choices. And then Baba tells us that be soul conscious and allow your consciousness to shift in accordance with the knowledge I give you. So you see that the more and more we churn on the knowledge that Baba gives us, it starts shifting our consciousness. And Baba tells us that I give you the knowledge that Maya is also working for me. And you just like you see that in a school, the principal hires the teachers to teach, and the principal hires those same teachers to test. So, those same teachers have to take a different role of testing you through examination. So they set the examination paper and they test you also. So Baba says that I'm teaching you and Maya is testing you, and Maya is doing my work. So Maya is also on your side. It's not like Maya is an enemy or Maya means bad for you, or Maya wants to stop you or break you. No, Maya is also Maya is also cooperating with you on this path, and You see, if there are no tests, no exams, then everybody is an educated person. But but if there are tests and exams, then you know how much one has studied. And this is why Baba says that I am teaching you. I am teaching you to be virtuous, to be powerful, to be knowledgeful. So how do you test whether you have become virtuous, powerful, or knowledgeful? Only when situations come. Yes, if there are no unfavorable situations, if there are no tests, then how do you know whether you have imbibed knowledge? Where do you apply that knowledge? So, Baba says that have the attitude that Maya is cooperative, Maya is not your enemy, and then you will not be nervous and you will not be defeated. So it is not I have experienced this, and I can tell you from my experience that no situation kills you. It is the fear that kills you. So you see that kill you in the sense, yes, somebody can kill your body, but you the spirit, if you lose your spirit, if you lose your enthusiasm, if you're losing your hope, then it is not because of the situation, it is because of your attitude of fear that you are losing your spirit. So Baba says, don't get nervous, never think about something as such a big deal and why this is happening to me, and don't get defeated, don't lose heart if something is not going your way. Just pull up all the strength I'm giving you, the virtues I'm giving you, the knowledge I'm giving you, and just pass that test. And Baba says that if you do that, then the test will be passed and Maya will also bid you farewell. But the attitude is very important, because you see, in Hindi it is said, Jo dar gaya so mar gaya. So I think that whenever, because we have such an adversarial relationship with unfavorable circumstances, we don't like unfavorable circumstances, we like everything to be our way. So that's why we have a very a relationship of animosity or an adversarial relationship with unfavorable circumstances. And because of that, whenever we sense that something is not happening the way I wanted it to happen, or I planned it to happen, or expected it to happen, then what happens is all the negative emotions start coming up. Fear, anxiety, worry, tension, they start coming up. And then you are weak. And in that state, that weakness kills you. That weakness makes you fall flat. It's not the situation per se. So Baba says, what is your attitude towards an unfavorable situation is something you have to check. And if you get very happy about an unfavorable situation, that now it's the time to test what I have learned, and be a practical example of Baba's teachings. If you have that attitude, then I think it's a very interesting play, and you kind of entertain yourself in that journey, because you learn what new things you have to learn, and also you entertain yourself along the way. And Baba says that whenever you have this kind of an attitude, then the storm will reveal the hidden gift that they bring. And I have always seen that in school also, when you pass an exam, what happens is you get upgraded to the next class, you get promoted to the next class. Similarly, if you have this positive attitude towards towards unfavorable situations, and you start applying Baba's gifts to deal with it, then what happens is you emerge as more experienced, you emerge as, somebody who knows better, who is more experienced in the use of powers and virtues after the situation has subsided. And earlier maybe, so let me tell you my own experience, that when I came into Gyan, I knew that there are 8 powers, and I knew that there is something called the power to tolerate. But I was very young, and I had never tolerated anything really, so everything had been very smooth. So whenever I talked about the power to tolerate, I did not know what the power to tolerate means. But along the way, when many situations come, and I challenge myself that, okay, Baba tells us that the power to tolerate makes the situation big or small. So, the size of the situation is, the inversely proportional to my power to tolerate. So, if I have great power to tolerate, then the situation is nothing for me. And if I have no power to tolerate, then it's a big situation. So I started working on my power to tolerate, and now I understand that, there is nothing in the world which can't be tolerated. So whether it is heat and cold, whether it is, fame and defamation, whether it is happiness or sorrow, whether it is, other stuff, so everything can be tolerated. So that's something that I learned from this experience. And Baba says that every situation that appears to be unfavorable has come to make you more experienced. So instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this trying to teach me? Yes, and do you like a good adversary in a sport? So when somebody plays sport, they like a good adversary, because the opponent will throw balls at you, or throw some, throw his he will attack you different from the ways you are experienced in, and that makes you more experienced and more ready. So Baba says, if you have this attitude of asking, not why is this happening to me, but what is this trying to teach me, then you will be left with a gift after the storm has left. And you will understand that now you understand the powers and the virtues that Baba is giving me much, much better. And I remember, there was this one Murli that in which Baba was telling us that move from expansion to essence, and then you will be successful. And this is a very important, so Baba gives us these pieces of knowledge, but when will you apply it? So when there is a big situation and your mind is all over the place, it's going into a lot of expansion, and it's asking, why this, why that, and why is this person doing this, and this is the least expected possibility, and why is this happening? So in all that expansion, if you can come into essence, so whenever there is a situation where there is a lot of expansion, and I just go to Baba's room and I start coming to essence. And what is the essence? I am a soul. I have to go with Baba. I've got nothing to do with anyone or anything. Yes, that's the essence. So every person, everything is just irrelevant to my existence. Yes, so I am a soul. I will continue to be a soul, and I have to go with Baba. And whatever is going on is just a scene in drama. It means nothing. And when you start coming to that place, you are able to position yourself where you draw powers and guidance and love and everything from Baba. And in that place, you are able to respond accurately and just stay peaceful where there is nothing to respond to. And slowly, you see the effect of that. The ripple effect of that is everything around you also starts coming from expansion to essence, and everything starts coming to a full stop. And these are the practical. So if there is no situation, where will you apply these points? So if there is no situation for expansion, where will you apply? But the thing is, keep churning on Baba's knowledge until you find. So just like if there is an exam suddenly, then a student who has not prepared will definitely get nervous. But a student who has prepared well for the exam will get very excited that, okay, now I get the opportunity to showcase that I am very well prepared. So similarly, if you're always well prepared, if you're always, churning on knowledge and having yoga with Baba, accumulating yoga power, accumulating the, training yourself into the different attitudes that Baba is teaching you. So, you do all that in the laboratory of your mind. If you keep doing that all the time, churning on knowledge, having yoga with Baba, or practicing the different attitudes that Baba tells us to practice. So, like the practice of being a Sakshi Drashta, the practice of being a detached observer in the face of all storms. So, do you practice that? There is a scene, whole scene of Vinash going on around you, and you are the one who is just sitting in remembrance of Baba and seeing everything and sustaining everyone with light and might. So, if you practice these things in the laboratory of your mind, then when these things happen practically, then you are in a very good position internally to apply what you have practiced and get the benefit of it. And you will feel happy and not nervous and defeated only when you are in good practice. And if you have not practiced well, then obviously you will not be able to come up with anything at that point of time, and the situation will make you feel nervous and defeated. So these things are important. And then Baba tells us that check your attitude while living at home. So you see that Baba says, don't fall prey to the maya of lust. And you see that whether it is anger, whether it is lust, whether it is ego, they all depend on our attitude. Yes, so does a person create thoughts of lust for everybody? No. They create thoughts of lust for those who they have the attitude, this is my husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend. These are the, or this is the opposite gender. Maybe, even if you don't have morality, then, maybe, or if somebody is oriented differently, they will have it for the same gender. But it's always an attitude. It's always that attitude, this is a woman, this is a man, this is beautiful, this is my husband, my wife, my girlfriend, my boyfriend. It's the attitude that sets the vision. You can have a vision of lust only when your attitude is that. And Baba says that's why check your attitude while living at home. What is your attitude? This is my husband, this is my wife, these are my children. Or is your attitude that we are souls, we are soul brothers who have come from the soul world? And Baba says that have this bhai bhai ki vritti. So, this bhai bhai ki vritti, or the brotherly attitude, is something that comes from soul consciousness. So Baba says, pay very good attention to soul consciousness and set your attitude right, because attitude will translate into action. You cannot stop attitude from translating into action. So if the attitude is that this is my husband or wife, then you cannot stop yourself from going into lustful behavior. And there was this one Mata, and she told me that I'm in Gyan, and I practice celibacy, I stay pure, but I want to share, Didi, very honestly with you, there is some guilt in me. So I said, what kind of guilt? So she said that I feel like, I am not doing something right with my husband, and I am depriving him of something that is my duty to provide. And this is something that is there on my mind, although I am equally convinced that I am a soul and purity is my original quality, but this thought also keeps coming. So then I told her, that's because you see, you have not changed your attitude from this is my husband to this is a soul. And when you think, this is my husband, then a husband or a wife is a very loaded term, and it carries all the conditioning that you have been conditioned into. So, if you are in a foreign country, then this word husband or wife means something different. If you are in India, it means something different. And even in Bharat, when you talk about husband and wife in different parts of the country, it means different, because our conditioning related to that word is very different. So, so Baba says that these are all various, these attitudes, they open up a whole box of, feelings and other stuff. So Baba says that in order to have pure actions while coming into relationships, you see, purity comes from soul consciousness. You cannot be body conscious and pure. Doesn't work like that, because body conscious means impurity. So Baba says, when you are soul conscious, then train yourself into having the attitude that this is not my husband, not my wife, not my children. They are souls on a journey. And only when you have this soul conscious attitude can you have the vision, that then you will be able to see that purity is good for the soul. It's not depriving them from what they are wanting, but it's actually providing them the environment to grow spiritually. And you will not have self-doubt in doing that. And then you will be able to choose to be to engage in pure behavior and a pure relationship. So Baba says it's very important to check the attitude. If you take anger also, you see, what is the attitude that you need? So, anger also stems from attitude. So, do you get angry on your boss? No. So, you know that if you get angry on the boss, it won't hurt them, it would hurt you. So, you have that attitude, this one is weaker, dependent, this one is somebody who will not give it back to me. So, it is there that you express that anger. And if you have the attitude that, every soul is respectable. So, a soul is God's child, and I don't have the right to disrespect God's child. So, every soul is respect worthy because they are God's children. And it doesn't matter what that soul is doing, or what position that soul is in, or what part they are playing. But if you have this soul conscious attitude that this is a soul and every soul deserves respect, then you wouldn't, shout and scream at anybody or get angry at anybody. Because anger also stems from attitude. So Baba says, if you don't work, so you will go into this person is small and they are making mistakes, so I have a right to get angry, or this person is wrong and so I'm getting angry. But Baba says, whether they are wrong or right, whether they are young or old, whether they are subservient to you or you are subservient to them by way of position, doesn't matter. That is a soul, and every soul has to be respected. And when you have this very firmly in you, but how will you have this very firm in you? Only when you churn over this a lot and you build soul consciousness. So soul consciousness is key. And today Baba is emphasizing a lot on soul consciousness, because Baba says soul consciousness is the main thing. Today Baba says that Maya is powerful, Baba is powerful. Both are equally powerful. Yes. And what is the power of Baba? If you hold Baba's hand, he will make you pure from impure. And what is the power of Maya? However pure you are, it can just smudge you and pull you down and make you impure. And that is the power of Maya. And have you seen when Maya attacks, then Maya can just make you very dirty. One moment you're thinking about, I'm a soul and this is a spiritual family and this and that. And next moment you can even have the thoughts to, think ill of somebody. Why? Because Maya has done that to you. But Baba says that Maya is powerful, I am also powerful. And you decide, or your state of consciousness decides whose hand you will hold. So if you're soul conscious, you're with Baba. And if you're body conscious, you're with Maya. So who is more powerful is decided by you, because your state of consciousness matters. So this is why today's most important Shrimat is be soul conscious. And soul consciousness decides who is going to pull you, because when we are soul conscious, you see that there is the physical world, the world of Maya, and there is Baba and the soul world. But, and both exist and both are equal realities. But which reality will you be attracted to? Which reality will pull you depends on your consciousness. So have you seen that when you're soul conscious, you can only see Baba, you can only see Sangam Yuga. You have that vision to only see Baba and Sangam Yuga and your inheritance, and you see all the good that is happening in Sangam Yuga. But when you're body conscious, then you see the complete opposite. So it's just your switch which determines whether you are with Maya or with Baba. So Baba lays a lot of emphasis on soul consciousness. And please ask yourself how much effort you're making into creating that stable state of soul consciousness. Because the law says if you don't do something, nothing is going to happen. So you have to make effort to be soul conscious. And for soul consciousness, the most important thing is going inwards. So how many times and for how long in the day do you detach from the body and the physical world and go into soul consciousness? So you see that, so if it is half and half right now, work towards, making it 70%, 80%, 90%, and then slowly, stabilize yourself in that state of soul consciousness. And then today Baba says, many children keep asking, that they sometimes, where children come and they ask, should I do this business or that business, or should I go with this decision in my business, or should I take a different decision, or even in the face of relationships, children ask, whether I should respond like this in the relationship or like that. So Baba tells us that I have not come here to give you these directions about which business you should do or what decisions you should take. And I will tell you why. Because even if Baba gave you the direction, putting a direction into execution depends on your buddhi and your strength. And if your buddhi and your strength are not in consonance with Baba's buddhi and Baba's strength, then you cannot put Baba's direction into practice. Yes, so let me tell you one incident. So there was this one brother, and he was taking loans, a lot of loans for his business, and then he was almost in a trap where the interest on the loans was greater than the money he was making, and he had to take loans to pay for the business in fact. So then he was asking me, so I said, even if I tell you, it's, you will not do what I say, because you will do what you feel right, and you have a way of thinking. That's why you are in this situation in the first place. So check for yourself, what is that thinking, what is that thought process which is bringing you to that place. So if that thought process doesn't shift, then how can you shift this whole way of operating and this whole way of responding to situations? Because you see that even if Baba told you, Baba telling you is the Nimit telling you, or you hearing it from your instrument teacher. So even if they tell you that you do this or do that, you will not be able to do what they ask you to do, because your sanskar, your buddhi and your power is very different from the person who is giving you the suggestion. And so Baba says that I have not come to tell you these things. I have come to teach you. And I have come to teach you to sacrifice, offer your body, mind and wealth in seva. And I tell you to do these two things. So keep imbibing my teachings, keep sacrificing your body, mind and wealth in seva. And what happens when you do that? The thing that happens when you do that is your intellect becomes divine, your sanskars become pure, and your mind becomes calm. And then such a mind, intellect and sanskar, and the soul who is the master of such mind, intellect and sanskar is able to make accurate decisions. So Baba says, you see that if you want to make accurate decisions, follow my teachings and keep sacrificing the old, the body, mind and wealth in the yajna. And when you keep doing that, you will be purifying yourself, you will be purifying your sanskars and your buddhi, and you will be able to make better decisions for yourself. And even if I told you what to do, what not to do, you won't be able to do that, because you and I are not on the same page right now. So this is why Baba says, don't keep asking me these questions. And I will tell you one thing, very simple thing. There was this one Mata, and she came and she told me that, Didi, I am going on a trip with my family, and I have taken some, I have cooked something for myself, so some tepla, something, and I will eat it on the trip and others will have food. So then she said, Didi, is it okay to eat bread and biscuits and this stuff? So I said, see, we don't eat it by choice. So that's all I would like to say. So it's just, we don't eat it by choice. So then she went for the trip, and then she came and then she wrote a long letter how she ate a lot of bread and a lot of biscuit. And then she told me that, Didi, because everybody was getting very annoyed and they were telling me you're not having anything, not having anything. So I took some bread from them to make them happy. So you see that if you have the sanskar of people pleasing, you are not taking food they brought, or you're not taking anything from outside, but that people pleasing sanskar pulled you to take some bread from them. So you couldn't say no, and if you can't say no, then you cannot follow Srimad. So I said, it's okay, you don't have to write that to me also, and it's okay, you gave it to Baba, it's between you and Baba and your destiny. I've got nothing to say in it. But the thing is, you see, even if you take a direction, if you have not worked on your sanskar and if you have not trained your buddhi, you cannot follow that direction. And let me tell you one law here. If you take many directions and don't put them into practice, then that also counts as a sin. And Baba says that is avagya ka boj. So, one is you're not doing what Srimad tells you, but second thing is you are also taking suggestions, you are taking the time, you are taking the, you're using the energy of the nimit and then wasting their time not doing what they're asking you to do. That creates additional boj. So Baba says, just focus on the teachings, just focus on the sacrificing. If you keep doing that, you will have an intellect which will be able to discern and decide what you should do and what you shouldn't do. Okay, Om Shanti.